James Gunn made it very extremely clear at the beginning of his presentation today that Matt Reeves' The Batman universe is separate. It is an Elseworld story, and it is not going to be part of the DCU. As much as some of us wanted that, Matt Reeves clearly does not. So that's going to be separate, but that does not mean we're not going to be seeing Batman in the DCU, because we are. James Gunn has stated previously that Batman is going to be a very integral part to this DC cinematic universe. So we got the announcement today of the first Batman movie in the DCU, the debut of this version of the character, which admittedly it is probably going to get confusing. Two different Batman movie franchises going on at the same time, but we are getting The Brave and the Bold. So this is so awesome because, of course, I grew up watching Batman the Brave and the Bold. I love that cartoon so much. And I don't know how much it's good. I highly doubt it's going to be based really at all on that show. But, I mean, just the name. It's a cool name. It's a really cool name for the movie. So I'm really excited on that aspect. But the big detail we did get about this movie, we didn't get any detail on like the villains or anything like that. But the big thing is that this will be Batman and his son, Damian Wayne, aka Robin, which is so exciting because we have never really seen a Batman Robin dynamic duo on the big screen before. I mean, we had Chris O'Donnell in the Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, but that wasn't really Robin. That really was not. And like, I mean, the only other good version of Dick Grayson and Robin we've seen in live action, well, I don't know if the suit looked good at least, was on Titans, but Bruce was like 80 years old in that show, so that doesn't count. This is going to be your first time getting a real Batman and Robin team up in live action. It's actually going to be a kid version of the character, which I think is really interesting. But I'm really intrigued by the choice of Damian Wayne. James Gunn mentions that Damian is his favorite version of Robin, which kind of got me thinking, like, what are your guys' favorite versions of Robin? Definitely let me know in the comments below. Personally, I love Dick Grayson. And yes, that pause was intentional, for comedic effect. But yeah, I grew up loving Dick Grayson. And I do feel like it's kind of weird to just jump automatically to Damian Wayne. I mean, it puts it at an interesting spot where you already have an older Batman, but at the same time, not too much older, because he still has to be a Batman that can work alongside this younger Superman. So I don't know exactly how that's going to work, but to just skip past all that is interesting. Our first ever live action Batman and Robin dynamic duo. Oh, actually, no, Burt Ward and Adam West in the 1966 show. That was a good example as well. Great versions of the character. Just, that wasn't a kid. So this is going to be our first kid version. And for it to not be Dick Grayson is a little disappointing, but it does open up the way that you can go about doing this, where you have a Robin, which would be Damian Wayne, but then you can also have Dick Grayson as Nightwing. You can do Jason Todd as Red Hood. You can maybe have Tim Drake in there somewhere. So there's a lot of possibilities with this, especially because, when it comes to specifically Batman and Damian Wayne, this is his son. Always, one of the most interesting things to me about the relationship between Batman and Robin is because Robin was always like an adopted son to him. But for this one to actually be his biological son, this could also tie into Ra's al Ghul and Talia al Ghul and the League of Assassins and all that stuff. So that could be an interesting storyline to tackle in this movie. Again, we don't really know what it's going to be about when it comes to the villains or anything like that, but we do know it is going to be Batman and Damian Wayne as Robin. And James Gunn did mention that there's going to be some other Bat family members in here as well. Again, like I mentioned, Nightwing, get some Batgirl in here, maybe some Red Hood, which is kind of crazy because literally last week I was making videos about my predictions for James Gunn's DCU, what he was going to announce, what I wanted him to do in this universe. And one thing I talked about, I reposted the 6.5 minute clip of that portion of the video. Definitely make sure to go check it out if you haven't already, about my pitch for for James Gunn doing a live action Bat Family HBO Max series. So I was pitching it as a series just because personally, I still think a series would work better for this, especially if we're going to be doing a bunch of storylines pertaining to the Bat Family, like Damian Wayne Robin, like the Red Hood, like Nightwing. Again, none of that is confirmed other than Damian Wayne, but I just feel like it would be easier to do a lot of that in a series format. But, it's Batman. You got to do it in a movie, I guess. I still think that's an interesting pitch that I did for that video. So again, check that out if you haven't already. But this is really interesting. This is something I'm really excited for. And again, since Matt Reeves' The Batman universe is going to be separate, this is, I think, a great way to differentiate these two Batman is from being a much younger Batman with Robert Pattinson, doing his whole universe over there. And then this is again, I want to say older Batman because he's a father, but again, he has to be young enough to fight alongside this young Superman. So I don't know exactly how old he's going to be. I don't know when it comes to casting or anything like that. I think still Jensen Ackles will be pretty good for this. I'd enjoy that for sure. Definitely let me know your own fan casting in the comments below. But for now, guys, what do you think about this news? The Brave and the Bold, our brand new DCU Batman movie is happening, and it's bringing Damian Wayne to live action. So guys, thanks so much for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video and hit the subscribe button so I can keep you up to date on everything goes on in the DC life.